Hello. Welcome to Port Misery, a GH podcast, where we try to figure out why everyone in Port Charles is so miserable this week. It's Tara, y'all. Once again, it's very obvious why everyone's miserable. These kids are fucking ingrates. Welcome to the We Need to Talk About Rocco edition of Port Misery, because what the hell? Um, but we can't talk about Rocco right away. First, I want to bring up something that came up like yesterday. Cameron Matheson, and I think if you're on soap social media, definitely Twitter, probably already heard about this, but like, and I'm not laughing because I'm about to get serious. So Cameron Matheson, he made like an IG post. I don't follow Cameron Matheson on Instagram, so I did not hear about this until it was brought to Twitter. Um, but apparently, his daughter has been seeing some of the comments that he's been getting, and she was concerned, as one would be, because like, let's be so real, like some of these comments are actually outrageous. And he was explaining how he had to sort of tell her how like the stuff on GH been kind of crazy. People take it real seriously, which I think all the actors understand. Like I think they understand that like these shows are very old. People have been watching them for a really long time. People are really attached to characters, especially a character like Michael, who's was born on screen. Like so, like people have feelings, and and some of the things that people write to Cameron Matheson is actually fucking crazy. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, we are adults. Like, I don't know how many teenagers are watching this show, this 63-year-old show. So I imagine that most of the fandom is adults. I know by my listenership, because for podcasts, they're like my podcasting app that I use to put it on Spotify and Apple, I can see the age ranges of people who listen to me, and most people are 30s and above. Like, as I expected, I'm in my late 30s, and so we're adults. And so while I understand this idea of like, okay, well, to a certain extent, you are a public figure, and you probably do have to like limit the amount you read about yourself or your character, all that. Maybe prime your family like so. Like famously, Scott Clifton, who plays Liam on Bold and the Beautiful. He used to play Dylan on GH back in the day. He is like hated in the fandom. Like his character is hated, and like even he said his mom hates his character. And so obviously he has to prime himself for what he reads about his character. And not but and some of the shit people have been saying about Cameron Matheson, not Drew, Cameron Matheson, is actually crazy. Like, I've seen crazy shit said about him. I've seen people like say they don't care about his house getting burned down, they don't care about him getting a divorce. Like, I've seen people say that like he doesn't affect a different enough a tone or accent between when he plays Drew and when he's like giving interviews. Like, so now he has to put on an accent to not be harassed on the internet. Like, what? I've seen people like, well, my faves aren't defended, so why does it I just feel like at a certain point there has to be something that we all agree is like fucked up. That it can't just be like, well, here's all the reasons why my abhorrent behavior is actually acceptable, is what I'm saying. And I try to do it. I try to watch what I say on this podcast or what I tweet out, like how is it being construed? Can it be taken a certain way? I'm not saying we should have to like, well, maybe we should. Like maybe we should be like scrutinizing what we think and what we say. Like, do we have to say like every chaotic thought I have, I don't necessarily have to put it on the internet or put it on this podcast. Some chaotic thoughts are just for me or just for people I trust. You know, they're spoken in a way they're not going to be recorded. But I mean, is there like, is there a limit to like what? Because at a certain point, we have to acknowledge that like the man is just doing his job. Like, even if you hate everything that Drew is doing, You're sick of him. You're sick of seeing him. You want him to get his comeuppance. Like, he's doing terrible things to not just like adults, but his own daughter and like her siblings. And it's all terrible, right? And Cameron Matheson doesn't write this show. Like, he doesn't write this show. He's literally doing his job, like I think like when Willow and Drew first got together, he would give interviews and he would say how like, other characters do other things and like why is it so deep? And I think some people got annoyed by that. And what is he supposed to say? Like, to a certain extent, as an actor, you have to understand the motivations of your character. You have to believe what they believe, or you're not going to portray the character in a believable way, if that makes any sense. Like, he has to actually believe that his character is right. Even if, like, Cameron Matheson, the human being, knows that Drew ain't shit, which I'm sure he does. Like, he said it several times. And to a certain extent, if he is this like slime ball, sleazy character that just grinds your gears, he's doing his job. Like, that means he's doing a good job. It's not cheesy, it's not cringe, it's coming off correctly. Like, the writers clearly want us to hate this character, and they're doing specific things to remind you that he is not good. Like, I think it was a choice to have him sort of do that crash out thing where he's gonna drag Scout to DC on the anniversary of her mother's death and not have her with her mother's family and all the people who loved her mother to talk about her mother. He wants to take her to a fundraiser to be around kids, right? Who probably already know that his girl is accused of shooting him in the back. She's in jail. Like, and so I say all that to say is that, like, while I totally hear everybody who's like, well, at a certain extent, this is your job. This is how it is. People are going to feel how they want to feel. It's also, at what point do we, like, admit that these are real human beings, right? Like, this is a real person with, like, a family who's just doing their job, and, like, sort of monitor ourselves is what I'm saying. Like, because I get the like notion that at the end of the day, I can't make anybody do anything, right? Like, even me saying all this, it's like it doesn't mean anything. The only person I can control is myself. So, and that is our individual responsibility. It's not Cameron Matheson's job to have thicker skin. It is our job to think about the ways in which our words affect people, to know that our words do have meaning, they have power. And so, yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on all that. I just didn't want to pretend like I didn't see it. Like, I've seen it. I haven't posted anything about it because, like, at this point it's a complicated thing, and I don't think that like 160 characters, however many you get on Twitter now, is enough to really illustrate how I feel about this. And then I don't feel like doing a thread, and you know I want to talk about it. So let's move on to like actual stuff about the show, because like before I get into the recap, there's just like a few things I want to bring up. Chaos. This is kind of a chaos episode. It's fine. Um, so why is everybody so shocked by Michael? I feel like every time we have Michael on screen, it's somebody being so shocked that he hates Willow. Why would you be shocked that he hates Willow? Like, all you guys did in between, like when Chad was playing him and when Rory started playing him, was talk about how fucked up Willow's being, right? Like, look at her. She's such a bitch. Like, she's dating her husband's uncle, like, publicly. She's not even divorced. She's still wearing the ring. And then we showed well, not me, I'm not in it, but they showed her willing to switch drug tests for him to make him look like a drug addict. She's, down to clown when it comes to her kids and all these things. Like, she's a bitch, and she's done fucked up things to her or to him. And why is everyone like, he was so cold to her? I can't believe it. Why is he being so cold? Why wouldn't he be cold? She sucks. She sucks. And if anybody did anything like that anywhere near something like she did to him, you'd all be crashing out. Brooklyn was willing to crash out on Tracy for stupid working class Victoria Lord, but she doesn't understand why Michael's willing to crash out on Willow after she did all that like she did. Like, this is so weird to me. This is so weird to me. Dante's like, well, you're my brother. Talk to me. Tell me that you murdered this. Well, she didn't murder anybody. Drew's walking around still being a menace. Like, shooting him didn't do anything for that personality. But yeah, Dante's freaking out. Sonny's like, well, you're acting vindictive. Why is everybody so shocked by this? Like, it's kind of annoying. She sucks. Stop being like poor Willow and go back to being like Willow fucking sucks. And like stop being like, well, it's Drew's fault. It's not Drew's fault. She's an adult. She's an adult. Let her take responsibility for her fucked up choices. I swear I hope she shot him. I really hope she shot him. If that was a story and y'all are trying to change it because you want to be clever, don't. Don't be clever. Just let it be her. You can get her out of it. Let her have like DID. She was doing it in a fugue state. Yada yada yada. You could get her out of it within like 4 months, and half the cast's gonna feel bad for her. Like, oh my god, poor Willow. Isn't she struggling? Like, just let it be her. Cause like I need Drew's face cracked. And if you make it anyone else, besides maybe Scout, and I don't think you guys can pull it off, but if you make it anyone else, you just make him right about how he already feels about them because he hates everyone else on the cast. He only likes Willow and Scout. And so it has to be one of them. But whatever. Let's move on to the next thing I want to complain about. I really thought I was going to complain less. I was like, I'm not going to complain this much this week because I was doing it too much for the past 2 weeks, and now here we are. But next thing I want to complain about, why is Lucas such a dummy? Why are you such a dummy? Like, it's so weird to me because, like, I want to be on his side when it comes to this, like, well, Carly, you're in mob hospital, so how are you to talk? But, like, exactly, she's in mob hospital, which is why she's telling you you shouldn't be moving into Windermere with Whitey's African warlord. Like, what the hell? And even Liz is on the same side as Carly when it comes to this. Like, what? All the things he did to all the people. And like then you have Lucas being like, well, I'm not denying that. But he's not his dad. But he's caps for his dad. He's his dad's lawyer. What the fuck are we talking about? It's just such a incident. When we talk about it, it's gonna be so annoying. I'm gonna be annoyed. I'm just gonna let you know that right now. I'm gonna be very annoyed when I have to talk about Lucas over at Mob Hospital. But the third thing I want to talk about, it was actually fourth because like the Cameron Matheson thing was the first thing. So fourth thing, Lulu says that she can never forgive Britt, and I honestly don't blame her. I don't blame her. Why would you ever forgive your OBGYN for stealing your embryo and trying to like raise the baby as her own so she can keep a man? So she can keep several men. She was just using him like she only wanted him so she can keep the men to keep first Patrick and then Nicholas. Like that's literally all she was using this kid for. And then I mean she did have that moment when Liz knocked her out and then Nicholas kicked her ass off of Windermere. he kicked her straight out. He said, "Bitch, you gotta go." Like you gotta go. Go watch that scene. If you've never seen the scene of when Nicholas finds out that well I guess we consider it when Lante find out, but it's really Nicholas's scene when Nicholas finds out that Britt stole Rocco from Dante and Lulu. He cussing everybody out. He cussed Elizabeth out, and then they let Dante cuss Britt out, and then he cussed Britt out, and it's epic. Oh, Tyler. Oh, no one played it like Tyler. No one did it like Tyler. But Lulu says she can't forgive Britt for that shit, and I don't blame her. Like, what are we talking about? There is no forgive and forget on some shit like that. Not at all. Not ever. And so, you know, if other people want to forgive her, if other people want to be cool with her, like, I'm not saying that other people have to feel some type of way because of that. So when Lulu's like, well, what about what she did to me? That's your cross to bear to carry. That's your cross to bear. That's not no one else's cross, right? Everybody else want to be cool with that. They just want to let that slide. That's on them. You can't control that girl. But if she wants to have that energy for the rest of her life and the rest of Brit's life, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to be the person who's like, you got to move on, girl. Move on. No, don't move on. Fuck her. Fuck her forever. That shit falls under fuck you forever, bitch. We are not going to be friends. And no, I don't want you around my fucking son that you tried to steal from like when he was a clump of cells. Girl, fuck you. Like, right? And speaking of that, that takes me to point number 5. Nathan is the only one besides who's not directly connected to this. So like Dante and Lulu are always like, fuck you, Brit. But Nathan is the only one with the right energy for Brit when it comes to Rocco. Because anytime her ass is around, he's like, bitch, why are you here? Bitch, go away. Exactly. Exactly. Go away. Why are you here? Nobody wants you here. You are not this child's mother. Go away. And so I kind of love that. I love that he's just there to check her ass 24/7. Now it is on some dumb shit where he's like, they're keeping my son from me too. But you know what? Whatever. I'll take what I can get. I will take what I can get because most people are like, oh, well, she's got maternal feelings for him and yada, yada, yada. And I said this on Twitter. It's not that I don't believe Brit's maternal feelings for Rocco. I think that Kelly Thiebaud plays it really well. And so I totally believe that she has these types of maternal feelings for this kid. I'm saying that her maternal feelings don't fucking matter. They do not matter. Girl, you stole this child from his parents. You stole him. You stole him that time that you cleaved to, like he was with me for the first 10 months of his life. You stole that time. You act like they just left him with you and said, we don't feel like being parents. Take him. No, you stole him. You lied to a bunch of men. Dante found out he was the child's father before Lulu found out she was his mother. You had several lies going in regards to him. Stop playing. And so it's not that I don't believe her when she says that she loves him. It's that I don't fucking care. That's where I'm at. I do not care because your feelings mean fuck all. Your feelings don't matter. And so it's not that they're not real, it's that they do not matter. And so I want to make that very clear. And then finally, this is the last thing, and then I'll get into the recap. We learned that Carly has been telling people that she's like hotel shopping when she's going off to Steinmauer to see her honeypot sensei, Valentine. She's like, yeah, that hotel wasn't for me when she was talking like Jocelyn and Lucas. And I'm like, Jocelyn, you're a terrible spy. Like your boss couldn't tell that your mom is out here going to Steinmauer saying Valentine. Y'all are whack as hell. But anyway, let's get into the recap. We're gonna start with Black Hospital really quick. Aunt Stella, this is secretly like a 7th point, but like Aunt Stella is team Curtis, you gotta stay with Portia because y'all are having a baby. I'm gonna be so real with y'all. I'm not on her side. I want to make that very clear. I disagree. No on Stella. And I wasn't mad at the scene. It gave that's what older black people be like, to be honest. I have a lot of aunties, and if I was 2 months pregnant with my husband's baby and we were going to get a divorce, they would probably give me the same advice. They'd be like, you got to go see the pastor. We are stronger than this. You need to raise this baby in a 2-parent household. Like, this is the kind of shit that they say, to be honest. And so while I disagree with it wholeheartedly, no, Stella, we don't need to do that. I was like, yeah, this sounds like some shit that Stella would say. I was surprised Hat Daddy didn't say it, to be honest. But Hat Daddy just lives to cap for his son's terrible behavior. That's all he's there for. And just to get Black Hospital out the way, Trina single-handedly saved Black Hospital this week. Trina is the MVP of Black Hospital because she went and told Jordan that she's a fucking loser, and we love that for her. We love that. Yes, Trina, let her know. So Trina was at the gallery with Ava, and she was telling Ava how she's upset that her parents are getting a divorce, which, I mean, I hear people who are like, girl, quit caring about this. I think like a month ago, I was like, girl, why you care about this? Your parents were together for 2 years, move on. And I still maintain that. And not but and she's allowed to be upset that her parents are getting a divorce. And then she brought up like when Curtis was paralyzed. I'm not even gonna lie, I totally forgot that happened. I totally forgot Curtis was paralyzed for a spell. And that Portia was there for him. And so she was saying how like I just knew they were in love when that happened. And I'm like, okay, all right. But then Whitey's African Warlord and freaking Jordan come in. And I think Marco, but they all come in. And so Trina is like, Jordan, let me show you a piece for your mob apartment. Takes Jordan to the side and is like, what's good, bitch? So I can't prove it, but I know that you came between my parents. I see you, you raggedy ass bitch. Excuse me. And Jordan is like, well, that's just your mom talking, and she shouldn't let you in on her business. Trina's like, watch how you talk to my mom, or watch how you talk about my mom. Don't talk about her like that. She didn't tell me shit about you. You're not important enough to talk about. All right. I have eyes. I'm an adult, and I know that you've been trying to get my dad since day one, which is not even a lie because she said to Laura that she never stopped loving Curtis. So you have never wished Portia and Curtis well. Like, just be so real about it. And Trina's like, my dad listens to me, and I'm going to tell him that I don't want him to be with you. Now, I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's going to work. And I love to see it. Be hostile. I've been begging Trina to stand up for her mom and to be on her mom's side. She's always on her dad's side, and she's finally on her mom's side. So I'm not going to knock her for how she chooses to do it. Like, I'm taking back everything I said about her caring about her parents' marriage too much. If it's in defense of Portia, I'll accept it. I'll accept it. She was talking about my mom lies to my dad too much, I wasn't trying to hear none of that. But when she's calling Jordan a loser ass bitch in behalf of her mom, telling her to keep her mom's name out of her fucking mouth, I'm here for that. So I'm going to support that behavior. Thank you, Trina. Thank you for your service. Please keep it up, girl. Keep this energy up with Jordan Ashford because she fucking sucks. Moving on, let's go over to Delusional Hospital really quick. So Alexis got Felicia investigating Portia during her work hours at GH. And I'm like, I need so many people fired from GH when this trial is done. Because, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? She's literally like going through GH files with her login at work. Bitch, not you using work hours to try to put me in fucking jail. Fired. Fire everybody, Portia. I'm sick of these people. Willow needs to not work at that hospital anymore. Fuck her. Fired. And Felicia needs to be fired. Cause ain't no way you gonna be on work hours getting paid to try and put me in jail. Bitch, fuck you. Fuck you. She like went into Portia's office. She was there with Isaiah, like, oh my god, I'm so proud of you and your transplant surgery. It did not matter. I'm not gonna talk about Portia and Isaiah because Felicia came in and was like, hey, Alexis was calling asking about what? Alexis is calling, girl, you at work. You're at work. You're at work. I'm at work. He's at work. This work. We're not using work time to try and save Willow. And if I hear one more person giving an impact statement for Willow while they on the fucking clock at GH, fuck y'all for that. Clock out and do all that shit. Like, Felicia, not you holding patient files asking me where I am during work hours on behalf of Willow fucking Tate. Girl, get back to work. Get back to work, queen. I'm sick of these people. I'm sick of these people. Girl, what is this work hours? For real? Okay, moving on. So, Alexis is she goes to Pentonville to see whack ass Willow, so she could get her bail for reasons that none of us understand. Like, I'm not even going to pretend like I understand how she was able to get a new bail hearing. Alexa said some shit about, oh, well, you were tried with Nina, and so now that Nina is a selfish asshole, we can get a new bail hearing, like some mulligan. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? But whatever. Alexis is able to do that. Chase is there, and he's pretty much like, I'm gonna prove that Michael shot Drew. I don't understand why they're writing Chase like this. Like, we're supposed to be going where evidence leads us. Even if you think that Willow didn't do it, you having him, like, you just believing that Michael did when the evidence doesn't prove that, that's not biases? Like, what the fuck? But Chase is like there holding hands with Willow, like, I'm gonna take him down on like my personal time, while Brooklyn invites Dante into her personal bedroom. I was like, damn, you had to bring Dante into the bedroom? But to ask about Chase, capping for Willow like this, he lets it be known that Chase goes to see Willow at Pentonville all the time. And then, I mean, and then it cuts to Chase holding hands with Willow at Pentonville. It's actually wild. And so Brooklyn kind of confronts Chase when he gets home, but he's just like, I did that shit. I'm not sorry about it, and I'm not going to stop. And Brooklyn responds to this by being like, and that's why I love you. You such a good man. You a good man, Savannah. What are we talking about? And once again, talking about how it was probably Michael. And like all this stuff about Claudia Zakara. Like, why are they framing this like Michael was just roaming the streets of Port Charles that night trying to find Claudia's car so he could bash her ass in the head? That's not what happened. That's not at all what happened. And so what are we actually talking about? Like, this shit doesn't make any sense. Like, why Chase is just so convinced that it had to be Michael because of what happened to Claudia Zakari. You think he investigated that murder. And, like, Dante knows that Michael didn't do that like that. And he never brings it up. The only time he's ever brought it up was to be like, well, I know that that's not what happened, but what about other people? Have you tried talking to Chase and telling him what happened? Because they've never shown that scene. If that scene has happened, that where Dante's like, you keep bringing up Claudia Zakara, and none of that, like the way you're choosing to characterize that is not how that went down. And as somebody who was there and investigated that murder and actually brought my fucking brother in to see the judge to tell him what the fuck went down, which is in the fucking record, Chase. That's not how that went down. And so Chase should know that's not how that went down because Michael gave a whole ass confession. He said that he went looking for his mom and he found her car in the woods. He followed the like footprints to the cabin. Claudia was walking out of the cabin with Jocelyn in her arms, and then he just picked up the axe handle and swung at her ass. That's what happened. He wasn't driving around with an axe handle. The only reason it was covered up is because Carson and Jason are forever fucking paranoid and they never want to call the cops. We saw that this week with Emma and Gio. I mean, Sonny wasn't wrong, and you have Alexis and Jason saying the same thing to Danny. But like, you see that this week with Emma and Gio, and they're like, well, maybe we should just go to the cops. And Sonny's like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No offense to your grandmother, Emma, but fuck that. We're not doing that. We're not just giving information to the fucking cops. And so Mob Hospital just never want to call the cops, even when they should. And that was the time when they should have called the cops. And they didn't. And that's why Michael went to jail. He didn't go to jail for being a fucking psychopathic murder. He only got like 5 years. He got 5 years. You're acting like he got 20 to life, Chase. Like, I'm getting mad again. I'm getting mad again. But Alexis is really the person in all of this who's like, listen, trying to pin it on Michael actually makes Willow look worse. It makes her look vindictive. If we're just trying to pin it on Michael, it makes Drew look vindictive. And like, let's go to Drew really quick. I'm sick of Brooklyn and Chase. I'm done talking to them. Like I said, they end in a good place, and then we'll talk about them in a different story. But Drew goes to see Nina. He sees random sex worker is sitting in the assistant chair. He's like, what the fuck? I thought we paid her off. And so he starts harassing her because he just loves to harass women and children. Have y'all noticed that? Have you noticed that? He loves to harass women, children, and minorities. And it's not a cute look. It's not a cute look, writers. Y'all got to do something with that. You got to do something with that because, like, usually a villainous character has something to anchor them to the cast. Like, take Ava. She's really got Sunny. Or not Sunny, I'm sorry. That's it, scratch that. Scratch that. Ava's really got Trina. Anytime we need to be reminded that Ava's a good person, they put her in a scene with Trina. Sonny, on the other hand, he has his family. Anytime they want to remind us that Sonny's a good person, they'll put him with Donna, they'll put him with Gio, they'll have one of his family members crash out, he's there for them, and so they do that, right? White East African Warlord don't have nothing, but he's like the villain of the show, and so right. Even with Britt, I disagree with it, but it's really her with Rocco. It's her with Rocco. It's sometimes her with Jason, where you get to see this person who's like resembles a human being instead of like a walking asshole. But Drew don't have none of that. Drew don't have none of that. And the person who should be that for him is really Scout, and they have him torturing her too. It's very fucking weird. And if they think that him with Willow is doing it, it's not. Because they're both assholes together. Like, they make each other worse. And so Drew don't have none of that. So he's just out harassing random sex worker. Nina's like, bruh, don't do that. Like, don't stop. Why you just harass women and children 24/7? Stop that. Come into my office. He goes into the office. He's like, bitch, what the fuck is this? Like, I thought you had a plan, and why is she still your assistant? What's going on? And so Nina's like, look, I tried to pay her off. Michael paid her more, and so now she's my assistant. But I got a new plan. I'm gonna have Wiley run up on her ass. Drew is like, so you just gonna have your grandson run up on a sex worker? What the fuck? And Nina's like, it's a necessary evil. Why is Drew and Nina so down to torture these children? Why are they always so down? When in doubt, torture the children. That's always their fucking plan. What the fuck? What are y'all doing? What's going on? And so Drew is like, whatever. He leaves. The whole plan, like the whole fucking plan, is to have uh Wiley see the sex worker to sort of force Michael to either like have his son around this shady, terrible human being. Cause like the way they're framing these people around sex work is so funny. They're just such snobs. But he's either gonna have to like put his son in this risky situation with this sex worker. Like, what do you think the sex worker gonna do? You think she gonna offer the little boy some sex? Like, what are we talking about? Like, she just gonna sit there. Or Michael's gonna have to like spit on her ass or something, and then she's gonna take Nina's money. It's a dumb fucking plan. It's a dumb fucking plan. And so let's go to Michael really quick. So Michael is over at Sunny's house, and they're fighting about whether or not Willow is an ancient person and whether or not she should spend the rest of her life in jail. And Sunny is like, listen, I get that you hate that bitch, but hating her this loud and proud makes you sound vindictive, and it makes you look like an asshole. And so you kind of got to stop. And he's just like, no, because fuck her. Like, I'm sick of her ass. And I'm sick of everybody capping for her ass. Like, what she do to get everybody's good grace like this? Like, what she really do? And so Sunny's like, bet. But the best thing that can happen for all of us is if she just goes free. Michael's like, what? What? And you know what? That's the correct energy, Michael, because I said what too. I said what at the exact same time. I said, huh? What? And Sunny was like, if she goes free, then like the PCPD and the DA's office, they're just gonna drop it because they're gonna be embarrassed, and so then everybody's gonna move on. No, they're not. No, they're not, because if she goes free, if she gets acquitted, then Drew's gonna be like, "See, I told you, Michael did it," and then we're gonna start this cycle all over again. So she actually needs to be convicted because I need this to be done before 2025 is up. To be honest, we cannot still be wondering who shot Drew in the new year. I cannot have it. I do not want to see that shit. Like, fuck all that. And so Michael's like, listen, I get your logic about like, oh, they're gonna be embarrassed and everyone's gonna drop it, but like that doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for my kids. I need that bitch in jail. And so peace out. Sonny's like, great, great. And so he gets a call. Michael gets a call from random sex worker. Like, so Drew out here wilding, and or no, he called random sex worker. I think. I don't know. I didn't go back and watch. As you could tell, a call is made. They're on the line with each other. She tells him about what Drew did. He's like, "Girl, I want to come see you. I want to take you out. I want to show you a good time because we got to make this relationship look real." They meet at the Metro Court restaurant. Nina's like, bet, bet. Takes Wiley downstairs. Michael is like, okay, son, come here. Meet random sex worker. Nina is gagged, clutching all of her pearls. And so Nina is like, Michael, are you really going to have your son around this woman of ill repute? Michael is like, yeah. Yeah, bitch. Turns out I am. And so Nina pulls him to the side, and Michael's like, sorry, your plan didn't work, ho. What do you think this was? What am I supposed to do? Spit on her? And then Nina was like, well, people are going to see you. People are going to see you with the sex worker. He's like, good. I want people to see me. And like, she goes to like take a photo. He's like, let me go set it up real quick. And they all take a little happy, like, hey. Michael's so chaotic. He said, yeah, I'll have my son around this sex worker. Because you know what? Sex work is work, bitch. Sex work is work. And you out here snatching children out of people's coochies. So I don't want to hear about this, like, respecting women's choices and nonsense feminism bullshit from you. Like, get the fuck out of here, you judgmental asshole. It's like, Nina was gagged. Like, and he said that her play date with Wiley was done. He was like, nah, he gonna go eat this Sunday with a sex worker. It's like, that's what you wanted, right? You wanted to see if I was gonna have my baby around this random sex worker? It turns out I am. Turns out that's what time it is. Me and the sex worker. We're doing a straight Pygmalion ass storyline where I turn this hoe into a housewife, and you get to be a part of it, Nina, because this is your assistant. He reminds Nina that she is his assistant, tells Wiley, that's your grandmother's assistant. And so this is your grandmother's assistant, random sex worker. And I want you to know, son, that sex work is work. All right? Don't you ever judge people by what they do to survive. We are children of privilege, and we respect all of God's creatures. Michael is so chaotic. So chaotic. He also tells Nina that she can't work at the Metro Court no more. That she got to work from home. He's like, you working remotely, girl. Welcome. She's like, you can't do that. He's like, my mama owns the hotel. So watch me. Watch me do it, bitch. And so he checkmated her ass. He checkmated her all over the shop. She's checkmated. But it turns out that whatever the hell Alexis did, Willow actually got out of jail. She got out of jail. She didn't even have like a ankle monitor or nothing. And she immediately broke the court order that said she can't be around these damn kids. And Yuri needs to get fired because what you mean Yuri told Willow where the baby was at? And she didn't even know that she was going to run into Michael. She thought she was going to go see Nina with the baby after she told Nina she wasn't shit and to leave her alone. I hate Willow so much. She sucks. But Willow rolls up to the Metro Court, sees Michael and her son with random sex worker. Wiley sees Willow. She's like, oh my God, mommy. Runs up to her. Willow pulls Michael to the side. They start fighting. Right? She's like, I know you tried to frame me. He's like, prove it, bitch. He's so petty to her. But he's like, whatever, I'm taking my son and this random sex worker, I'm going home. You have a nice night, ho. And he leaves. She calls Drew. Now, Drew is over with Alexis. Drew was telling Alexis that she needs to frame Michael. Alexis was like, no, I don't work for you, bruh. My job is to get Willow acquitted, and me framing Michael is not how I get Willow acquitted. I need to make as many people look guilty as possible. Drew's like, fuck you. I'm going to put Martin as your co counsel, and he can frame Michael while you get Willow acquitted. She's like, what? He leaves. He leaves to go see Willow, who's busy calling random sex worker a hooker and stuff. Girl, I didn't think you need to, like, you live in the glassest of glass houses, and so you should not be throwing stones because, what does Salt and Pepper say? The only difference between a hoe and a hooker is a fee. And so, like, if she a hooker, you a hoe. Cause we all know what you do. Like, you fucking in your children's nursery and shit. Their daddy's uncle. Like, get out of here. But she's like, I can't believe he has my children with this sex worker. Um, Mad. Martin goes to see Alexis. And Alexis is like, I don't want you to be my co-counsel, to be honest, because I think you suck. Like, you're a terrible lawyer. Martin is like, I thought you were down. My bad. And Alexis tells him, like, I don't need your help. My plan is to put the PCPD on trial and say that they just, like, decided it was Willow. They didn't want to look at anyone else. And I'm going to present as many possible suspects as I can because Drew sucks and everybody wants to kill him. And Martin like, that sounds that sounds dope. That sounds dope. I'll go back you, but just let you know if you fail, he's gonna come down on you with the wrath of several demons. So be prepared for that. And she's like, bet, whatever. And so the only other thing that happened, this is kind of like a straggler story. I probably should have started with it. The horny DA showed up at Sunny's house randomly after Michael left, and Donna was there because Donna was trying to get Michael to stay and make like paper turkeys, and he was like, "No, I can't. I'm mad at our dad, so I have to go." Um, but the horny DA shows up because, like I said, she's trying to honeypot Sunny, but it's very difficult to honeypot that man because he's always got an adorable child next to him. And so she comes in with her little grease stain on her face. Donna's like, "Hey, I'm here. You look terrible, girl. What's going on?" And she tells them that she can't change tires or some bullshit. And, they have like a little honey pot off. It's very funny. We get to learn that Sunny has several businesses that we didn't know about, like tow trucks and freaking cobblers and maybe a finishing school, like just so many businesses. Sunny, why is Sunny still selling fake purses? Like at this point it seems like you got a lot of money just coming in legit. You don't need to sell fake purses, but whatever. That's all that happened with the two of them. We'll get back to them in like the main story that I'm very upset about this main story. The only other thing that happened, and like I said, it's about Lucas being a dummy, is that Lucas decides to move in with Latino's son at Windermere with his dad. And both Liz and Carly are like, what the fuck? Bruh, what the fuck? Like Liz is fighting him at GH, and he just like responds differently to Liz because Liz is just as sort of hesitant about this. Like, bruh, what the fuck? Like, after all he did to Lucky and Jason and Anna, like two of my baby daddies, two. And Lucas is just like, yeah, but like Latino's son is not his dad. And Liz is like, why can't y'all just like get a regular place? Like, he's a lawyer, you're a doctor. Like, what's the fucking problem? And Lucas is like, well, I don't know if I want to sign a lease with him. This way I could just flee if I don't want to be with him. Liz is like, but you living at Windermere on an island with white East African warlord. What the fuck? And eventually she's like, you too hard headed. I have to go back to work. So you do what you want. You want to fuck up your life. You fuck it up. And she really said that to him. Like, it's your life to ruin. So you do you, bruh. Great support. Great support. But he's still talking to Liz at the end of this. And that's how she ended that. So when he tells Carly Carly, let me preface that when Carly found out he wanted to move in with Latino's son, she was supportive. She was like, that's great. I'm so happy for you. I'm going to help you find apartments, all the things. And then Lucas drops that he's moving into Windermere, and Carly's like, absolutely the fuck not. Hell no. Shot down. Vetoed immediately. And Lucas flips out. Like I said, same reaction Liz had. But Lucas takes it so worse. And he starts bringing up Mob Hospital. Carly's like, yeah, I'm in Mob Hospital. That's how I know you shouldn't be moving to fucking Windermere. What are we talking about? What you talking about? And he's like, well, like you and Sonny and da da da. She's not married to Sonny. What you talking about? What the fuck? And Carly brings up the same shit that Liz brought up. Like, bruh, what about what happened to Anna and Jason and Lucky and all these other people? So would you think they're liars? You think Sasha was lying? And he's like, no, because Latino's son is not his dad. And like, Carly is like, what if Latino's son is just using you to get to me, to get to Sonny? And then Lucas is kind of like, fuck you, bitch. How dare you say that to me? And it just shuts down. The whole time Jocelyn is sitting there, and she knows that Whitey's African Warlord is a Whitey's African Warlord. She knows that Lucas is in danger, but her mission is to like keep him in this danger. So she's like, you're out of line, mom. You're out of pocket. I support you. And Lucas is like, thank you. Fuck you, Carly. And he leaves. Carly immediately is like, fuck, I handled that way wrong. I shouldn't have done it. I should have came at it a different angle. Now he's fucking furious. He's not going to listen to me. Jocelyn is like, well, da 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 da. Carly's immediately like, shut up, bitch. Don't fucking talk to me. Because you should have backed me up, and I've never been more disappointed in you in my life. Jocelyn is gagged. She's like pearl clutching. Like, well, because I support my uncle. Now I'm the bad guy. Carly looks her dead in her face and is like, don't do that. You know that man ain't shit. So don't do that to me. And that's how it ends. I know Carly's going to get around it and be like, you were raised in Mob Hospital. You know what Jason and all these other people said. You know it's not okay. And so don't do that. But it was the first moment where Jocelyn can see that there is something happening between her and her mom, and that her mom is not happy with her. It gave me hope that when Carly finally lets it be known that she knows that Jocelyn's a spy, Jocelyn's going to be cussed square the fuck out. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait, because Jocelyn choosing to keep her mouth shut so she doesn't get charged with treason because she's a fucking spy on some save the world shit. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. Mob Hospital would never. Mob Hospital, like Jason kept at a buck for like a month. And then you were out of pocket. You told such an egregious lie to your mom that he crashed out and was like, nope, nope. I'm not going to let you, my family. I love you. She's my family. I'm not going to just sit here and let these people lie to your face. Jocelyn's a spy. And so, Jocelyn, you are not right. You are not right. And I hate that this storyline makes me hate her character like this. Because it's such an ain't shit way to be. It's such a, cause like you got Ava. Ava is super capping for Lucas. So Lucas goes to see Ava and he's like, I can't believe that Carly did that. And I am so upset. And Ava's like, damn, that sucks. But at least Ava doesn't know. She doesn't have insider information. She knows that like Whitey's African Warlord is shady. She assumes it's just him and not the son. But like Jocelyn knows this and she's still letting him do this. It's ancient behavior. It's ancient behavior. And so those are kind of like the straggler stories that are happening right now. Like even Drew's shooting is kind of a straggler story because who gives a shit. But let's get on to the main story. So this is like young adult hospital crashes into Monica's hospital, crashing into Mob Hospital, crashing into Law and Order Hospital. right? And so I gotta set some stuff up because this is a crazy, messy storyline. We gotta talk about Rocco. All right, we gotta talk about Rocco. And so here's what you need to know. Dante became the police commissioner. Apparently, Sonny Corinto's son gets to be police commissioner, and he immediately brings back Nathan onto the force, even though he is a ghost. And he makes him chase his partner. Nobody has seen Anna, and everybody is cool with that. And that's weird to me because, like, every time you talk to Anna for the past 6 months, she was talking about how much she hates the WSB and how it was the worst time of her life. And now she's just back on assignment with the WSB. That doesn't make any sense, right? And then also that Laura and Martin made up. He still cannot live with her, but he definitely was life coaching her through her debate prep before everything fell apart, right? And so that's where people are. Laura's at the debate because she needs to debate creepy council person. Dante is commissioner, right? Nathan is a cop again. He's partners with Chase. They both have conflicts of interest when it comes to Willow. But let's get to the main storyline. So the young adults, right? They're doing the stupid honeypot. That's no longer a honeypot because Brit's involved. So they said, let's get the kids involved. Um, Before we can even start that, we got to hear Emma whine some more. Like, oh my God, I always mess everything up. And then Gio gives her a pep talk and she's like, okay, let's do it. And they plan to steal the key fob from Brit. They're like, we're going to use the little kids to get the key fob. Got the little kids involved. Now, the kids are like, what you're going to do, Rocco's going to distract Brit. Charlotte's gonna steal the key fob. They're gonna give it to Emma. Emma and Gio break into the lab. That's the plan. The kids were never supposed to break into the lab. It's very important that we all know that for what happens next. And so Gio gives Emma the pep talk, says, girl, you got to get in black so we can break into this lab because she was wearing like fuchsia or something like that. Like, nah, girl, get the black on so we can break into this lab. She leaves. Ned shows up to have a BLT or something like that, sees Gio. They get into a conversation. He starts talking about how he's trying to get the knickknacks back from Lulu's house. You remember when working class Victoria Lord kicked Tracy out and then she crashed out and stole all the shit from the house. She said these things are mine. And so Ned's like, we got to get all the knickknacks back. He's explaining about that, and Gio's like, oh, Tracy's crazy and maybe I'm a lot like her and all the things. He Emma comes back. Yeah, Emma comes back. Ned is like, let me leave and try and get these knickknacks back. Ned learns, just like the rest of us, that Drew has stolen all of the Quartermain knickknacks from Lulu's house. How did he do this? How did he do this? And like people, I said this on Twitter, and people said, they were like, well, he just called and said, that's my stuff. And had it. This is my thing, is that like the movers are a paid service. Like, I paid these movers to move this to my house. I assume I have a contract with them, right? Like, it's not some like, hey, can you move some stuff? Thanks. It's going to be here. Move it. Like, I called these people. They got information. They got a credit card for me. We have a contract where you take this shit to this place and no one can get involved with that. How did Drew get the shit? I'm just so confused. Like, maybe I just can't imagine Ned using like a task rabbit to get the Quartermain knickknacks back. That's all I'm saying. That's very weird. But he's fighting Drew over the knickknacks. He starts having a heart attack. Drew's like, I don't think you having a heart attack, leaves. Bruh, even if he's faking it, is it good for you as a congressman to just be like letting people die in the streets of heart attacks? Especially when you related to them after you steal all their knickknacks? But whatever, like I said, they never give Drew anything to stand on because it would have been so easy to just have him save Ned. They could still be opping with each other, but they could have had him do that, but no, because we got to give it to Brit. We got to give it to Brit. So Ned is just like outside Bobby's having a heart attack. Lulu and Olivia are at the Q mansion talking shit about Brit being in Rocco's life, and she is currently at Bobby's saving Ned because Gio and Emma end up finding Ned outside. Emma runs back inside, gets Britt. Britt starts doing CPR. Gio's also calling Ned grandpa. He's got grandpa status now, so go Ned, I guess. It only took you dying to get that. But Britt comes out. She starts giving Ned CPR. They get him to the hospital. They call Olivia. They call Brooklyn. That's how Brooklyn shows up. And Emma decides that they have to call off the honeypot because Gio's not going to leave his grandfather and she's not going to leave Gio. And so Emma calls the kids and they're like, we got the key fob. Emma's like, yeah, that don't fucking matter because Ned's having a heart attack. And so we're not doing that anymore. Danny, Rocco, and Charlotte decide to break into the labs themselves. Here's the problem. Here is my problem with this. Why are you writing these kids as if they are super dumb and inconsiderate? Ned is a member of Danny's family. Ned is a member of Rocco's family. And in completely different ways. Ned is a Quartermain. Danny is a Quartermain. Ned is married to Olivia. Rocco is Olivia's grandson. And so it's actually crazy that the two of them wouldn't also want to be at the hospital. He's not even some long lost, distant relative. Y'all live in the same house as this man. And so the fact that you are just like, well, Ned's having a heart attack and that's a great distraction. Let me go break into a fucking lab. What? Huh? And that's just on some like Monica's Hospital shit. If we think about what is happening on this day, so Dante just started as a police commissioner. I'm assuming this is not news to Danny, Rocco, or Charlotte that Dante is a police commissioner, that he's starting today. So you decided on your dad's first fucking day as police commissioner, you're going to break into a lab to save some hypothetical puppies? Okay, that's one. They're also trying to use the debate as a distraction to get into the lab. The debate that Rocco and Charlotte's grandmother are participating in. So y'all thought that, like, one, you were never involved in this plan like this. You were never a part of the group that was going to break into the lab. Two, you are connected to every single person that is currently going through something, starting something, or trying to protect something. So you're like, Ned is going through it. Dante is starting as police commissioner. And Laura's trying to make sure she stays mayor of this town. And y'all thought, let's break into this lab. That's what's smart. And so they break into the lab. And there's no puppies. And I knew there weren't going to be any puppies because animal actors cost a lot. And so, like, Outback is probably one of the highest paid actors on the show. And so I knew we weren't going to have any puppies. And so there's not even puppies in the lab. They're just looking around like maybe he's hiding puppies in what storage containers? Like, what's going on? But they find no puppies. Kane from YNR comes in. He's about to catch Charlotte and Danny. And so Rocco kind of sacrifices himself. He's like making noise. Kane from YNR grabs him up. Rocco immediately starts giving him an attitude and calling him a bad tipper. I was like, what? He was like, I know you're hurting puppies in this lab, and you're a bad tipper. Rocco, be so fucking serious. And so he drags Rocco out of the lab into the debate because there's police at the debate because it's the mayoral debate. Laura sees Kane from YNR on her grandson and she's like, bitch, what the fuck is this? Take your hands off my grandson. Now, this is a cool moment because if y'all don't know, I don't know, like some of y'all might not watch YNR. Jeannie Francis used to play Daniel Goddard's mother on Young and the Restless. Like her and Tristan Rogers played his parents. And so it was a cool moment where you get to see two actors who used to work together on a different soap do stuff. And I always find that really cool. But it's mostly Laura being like, bitch, you ain't got no proof of nothing. Like you pulled him out of some shit. I don't even know if he was in the lab. Like all I see is you with your hands on a minor. That's all I fucking see is you just dragging around somebody else's child. So how about you just like let this go, and then I'll let go with the fact that you are out here abusing my fucking grandson. Because what the fuck is this? Like, because what you're not about to do is keep your hands on my grandson like that. Take your fucking hands off my grandson. And so he lets Rocco go, but creepy council person is like, well, I don't know. I don't know. And so, like, he starts bringing up the fact that, like, well, if he said he saw him in the lab, like, and it's a secure lab, you need a key fob to get into the lab, like, check his pockets. If he ain't got the key fob, then I guess it didn't happen. And so, of course, they check the pockets. He got the key fob, and so Rocco gets arrested. Um, Charlotte and Danny ran out. Now, first of all, I know it's like they were just it's a filming thing, but like as Kane from YNR is dragging Rocco out of the lab, Danny is like, "Damn it!" And like the way how quickly he said it, like they should have been caught too. They should have been caught too, but it's whatever. Danny and Charlotte decide to go find Jason. Now, I thought this was very funny because like, what's Jason about to do? Like, what's Jason about to do? But because I thought they were going to find Britt because they stole it from her, but they were going to find Jason. Jason just happens to be with Britt because Britt had gone with Ned to the hospital. But as soon as she got there, all the doctors were like, "You're not a doctor, girl. Fuck you. Get out of here." She tries to like run up on Portia. Portia is like, "You're a disgraced OBGYN who's now a desk jockey. Shut the fuck up, bitch." And I was like, "Oh, okay." All right, everybody letting Britt know who she is. But Jason ends up taking her to Bobby's. And so the kids show up to talk to Jason. Britt realizes what happened. And so Britt is like, fuck. Because, you know, she care about Rocco. Charlotte's like, look, I don't even want to talk. Like, Danny want to talk to you? I need to go talk to my mama. Because if she hear about this from anyone else but me, it's not going to be good. Britt is like, fine, I'm going to drive you there. So Britt drives Charlotte to go see Lulu. Charlotte tells Lulu and Dante what happened with Rocco. Gio and Emma overhear it. They start freaking out. Like, and Emma's like, I told them not to fucking do that. Like, I don't even know why the fuck they did that. Gio's like, bet, don't even trip. Like, we did it. It's us thing. I love how he is like, it's us thing, girl. We did it. Stop saying you, it's us. Gio's like, let's go see Sunny. Jason at this point is like, we need to go see Alexis. And so we kind of get like a split screen where you got Gio and Emma going to Sunny being like, should we just turn ourselves in? Sunny's like, no, absolutely the fuck not. Like, no offense to Anna, but we're not doing that because y'all are adults and like, it's not going to help Rocco anyway. Jason takes Danny to Alexis and Danny wants to do the same thing. Like, I should just turn myself in. Alexis is like, nope, because you're just going to get in trouble and Rocco's still going to be in the same amount of trouble. We're not doing that. Sorry. Jason says some shit like, oh, are you going to be like disrespecting his choice to like, he chose to do that shit. Jason, okay. Like, my hospital is so funny. Um, but Sunny ends up calling Rick because Rick had come over to be like, I want to be your lawyer again. Now, in real life, I know that Carolyn Hennessy hurt herself, and so she's probably not going to be on the show for a while. And so Sunny does actually need a lawyer. And so it was like Rick being like, I went through some stuff. Sunny was like, I don't trust you with nothing, but I do know you were on a ayahuasca journey. Rick is like, think about it. Think about it. I could help you save the peers, so think about it. When Gio and Emma come over, Sunny calls Rick like, you want to take a test? You want to prove your loyalty? Get my grandson from underneath this. And so Rick is on the case. Charlotte, Lulu, and Dante go to the PCPD to meet up with Rocco and Laura. Dante is fucking pissed. Dante is fucking pissed. Like, he's trying his best to like be the commissioner about all this, but you could tell he want to punch his son in the face. And so Rocco comes in. Um, he asks, I think he asked Nathan to take him to interrogation. Lulu's like, "Can I go with him?" Dante's like, "Yeah, yeah." And he sends Charlotte over to be with Chase, and he asks Laura what the fuck's happening. Laura's like, "I don't know, like, all this, I was at my debate and came from Y&R showed up with Rocco manhandling his ass, talk about he broke into a lab. They found the key fob and like they had to take him in." And so Lulu's talking to Rocco, and she's like, "Don't lie to me. What the fuck's going on? And don't say that Charlotte and Danny weren't there because I already know they were there." Rocco is like, "We thought he was testing our animals, and so we broke into the lab." It's crazy. Everyone's working overtime to try and make it okay. Like, well, it's probably only gonna be a misdemeanor. Everything's gonna be fine. Like I said, Nathan had the right energy for Britt. He was like, "Bitch, get out of here." But everyone's trying to work overtime. Like, this isn't gonna be a big deal. It's not gonna affect Laura. He's not gonna get that much time. I feel like it's gonna affect everything. I feel like Laura's gonna lose next week. Like, I honestly think she loses the election. And that's why she was crying in her car. If you've seen the promo, it's somewhere on the internet. You can find it. But they have to go to court essentially because I think like because they were labeling it as a misdemeanor, they were able to let Rocco go home. And Dante's like, "You gotta show up to court at 8 a.m." And Rocco tries to be like, "I'm so sorry, Dad." Dante's like, "Nah, nah, we'll talk about this later." You could just tell that Dante is so fucking mad, and he is just like, "I don't even know you right now. I don't even know you right now." But Rocco got to go to court. Britt had tried to call White East African Warlord when she realized it was her key fob that they stole, to get him to get Kane from Y&R to back off. Now, he tried to get him to back off. He called him to GH. He was like, "Bruh, you need to let this go because, like, what we don't need is a bunch of cops finding all them puppies we irradiating, right?" But Kane from Y&R is like, "Nah, nah. After what the mayor did, fuck that. Fuck that." And so we get to Friday's episode. Rocco got to go to court. Everybody is crashing the fuck out. All the kids, all these children, a mob hospital, and the Cassadines, and all these things are all crashing the fuck out, trying to narc on themselves. Spy hospital children. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, Emma, Gio, Danny, Charlotte, all of them gonna crash out. And every adult around them gotta be like, "Nah, it's not gonna help him." It'd be one thing if you crashing out would help this kid, but it doesn't help him. But I have a feeling that Gio's gonna crash out, tell Dante, and that's why Dante's gonna be mad next week. I don't think Danny does it because like it's just not gonna help nothing. But they're all trying to crash out. Rick is with the horny DA, and he's like, "Look, it's a kid. Like, he never done anything." The horny DA is like, "Remember when he got alcohol poisoning?" Rick is like, "Yeah, he only hurt himself. What are we talking about?" Like, he was trying to help some puppies. Like, he just gonna get community service anyway. You should just like give him 6 months community service. So they agree on that. Rick leaves and he's like, "Yeah, everything's great, everybody. He's just gonna get community service. Everything's gonna be fine." Um, Kane from Y&R shows up. And he tells Horny DA that Rocco trashed the lab and that like he stole some shit and he was doing all this stuff. And so she bumps that shit up to a felony in court. Rick is like, "The fuck? Like, you can't just show up, cancel the fucking plea deal, and awesome new evidence. You didn't even show me the fucking evidence. Like, can I have a continuous? Can we do some stuff?" The judge is like, "No, no. Not only that, take this kid in. We arrested him." And so Rocco got locked up. Rocco got locked up. That's how this ends, with Rocco getting locked up. And I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? How we like we locking up everybody but Sonny and Jason and Whitey's African Warlord. To be honest, like it's so funny to me. All the people getting locked up. Britt's not seeing no jail time. She did whole ass fraud. Like it's crazy to me. This is so funny, and I'm still mad at Rocco. Cause like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you choose the day that your dad starts the commissioner job, your grandma has a debate, your step grandfather's having a heart attack? Why you choose this day to pull all the focus from the things that needed to be on? Like, and now we need to talk about Rocco. It's like that. I don't know if you guys seen the news report of the little girl who was like robbing people in DC, and the dude was like, "Where are these children's role models? Where are their parents? What's going on?" And so that was the week. That was the week. Like I said, very chaotic. Hopefully it made somewhat sense because the stories were all over the place. They were all over the place. We were caring about things that maybe we should finish, like Willow's out of jail. We don't know why. We don't know why she's out of jail. Trina's finally defending her mother for once in her life. Drew is still a menace. We need to talk about Rocco way more than we should have. All the children are trying to crash out. Every adult in their life that's still on the cam is trying to stop them. They said absolutely not. Crashing out is what we want to do. So be prepared for more Dante versus Geo in the future. And Ned, we don't even know how Ned doing. We don't even know how Ned's doing. He went into surgery and we ain't heard about him since. And now Geo caught a case. Not Geo. Well, Geo about to catch a case. He about to catch a case with Dante. But Rocco done caught a case. Rocco caught a case and now he's getting put in straight prison on some bullshit. And so that was the week. If you like this, feel free to like it, subscribe. If you're on Spotify, leave me a comment. YouTube, leave me a comment. Give me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And I'll be back next week. Bye.